Hey parents, Mr. Jim here, and guess what? All of Mr. Jim podcasts, yes, I'm talking kids short stories, kids animal stories, Biology Squad, bedtime stories, all of them are now available on Storybutton. Storybutton is my invention that I invented to make it easier for kids to listen to podcasts, their favorite stories, off of screens. Parents, you know how it goes of putting kids to bed, maybe having to use your phone or an iPad to listen to stories. Well, we want to put that to an end and make it easier for you all to listen to audio stories off of a screen. Storybutton is a device that connects to your internet to freely access all of the great kids podcasts available in our library. Go to storybutton.com to learn more. And when you order today, you can save $20 and get free shipping at storybutton.com. Hey friends, it's Mr. Jim, and welcome back to Kid Short Stories. If this is your first time, welcome to the family. We are the podcast that turns your ideas into an amazing adventure every single day. You know, we couldn't even exist without imaginations from kids just like you. So if you have an idea for a story, I'd love to see it. Check down in the show notes below for how you can submit your own story idea, and maybe we'll turn it into an awesome adventure. And parents, if you're new to kids podcasting, I want to challenge you to listen to podcasting for 5 days in a row with your kids. It's going to increase their imagination, decrease screen time, and we're going to have a lot of fun along the way. Are you guys ready for today's adventure? Me too, let's go! Dr. Stinky Breath woke up in a great mood. Oh dear. He had a restful night dreaming of new evil plans. He opened his eyes and sat up. Purple ninjas. Purple ninjas, come here.
Yes, Dr. Stinky Breath?
I dreamed of the most diabolical plan last night to spread stinkiness all over us town. He shoved a notepad and paper at the ninjas. Write this down. First, I will need all the bubblegum you can find. All the bubblegum in the world if you can get it. Then, I will blow the largest bubble in the world.
And then what's gonna happen, Doctor?
Well, Steve, then we will pop that bubble, and my stinky breath will go all over the world. It will be the biggest, stinkiest bubble ever! The purple ninjas taking notes forgot to secure his nose pin that morning. He did his best to hold his breath as Dr. Stinky Breath laughed, his smelly breath all around him. He slowly inched backwards away and towards the door. Gather the other purple ninjas and start working on the plan. We have a busy day ahead of us.
Yes, Dr. Stinky Breath, we're on it.
And then the purple ninjas ran out the door, gasping for fresh air. They found some other ninjas in the blimp and filled them in on today's evil mission. The purple ninjas powered up the stinky blimp lab and began floating around town. They flew to each store, hovered above it, while a group of purple ninjas quietly parachuted down to the roof. Then they cut a big, round hole out of each roof.
Ready!
The purple ninjas then lowered a giant hose out from the blimp.
Switching the controls to bubblegum magnet.
The hose, now sticking through the ceiling of the store, became magnetized for bubblegum. Bubblegum began zipping through the air and latching itself to the hose. Then the blimp ninjas called down,
Switching controls to suction.
The bubblegum was then sucked up the hose and into the blimp's special bubblegum bag attached to the back of the blimp. They moved from store to store like this. Only once did a store manager even try to intervene.
Hey, you've got to pay for that,
called the store manager. The ninjas responded by switching the controls to slime balls and stuck the manager's shoes to the floor with goops of sticky purple slime. Oh dear. The Purple Ninja's evil mission was going perfectly. They had already collected all the bubblegum in town, but Dr. Stinky Breath was getting bored. He already ate his breakfast of hard-boiled stinky eggs and blue stinky cheese and read the evil scientist's newspaper from front to back. Ready to put his evil genius into action, Dr. Stinky Breath relocated to one of his other houses to not give away any plans. Then he called the Purple Ninja's blimp phone. Shh, ninjas, I am bored. Run now. Return with all the bubblegum you have collected. I'm ready to blow up my big stinky bubble.
Yes, Doctor, on our way.
Don't make me wait. Then he hung up the phone. The Purple Ninjas scurried back into the blimp and darted back to Dr. Stinky Breath's house as fast as they could. When they arrived, it took 87 ninjas to carry the bulging bag of bubblegum to where Dr. Stinky Breath was waiting on the roof. Dr. Stinky Breath popped the first piece of bubblegum into his mouth. It was very sweet.
Oh, this is terrible.
Dr. Stinky Breath complained.
But I must continue for the sake of evil.
He popped another piece into his mouth, shuddering at that sweet, delicious taste. He preferred stinky, disgusting things. When there was no more room, Dr. Stinky Breath began to blow. And blow. And blow! The bubble grew bigger and bigger. Then he popped more bubblegum in his mouth and kept blowing. After the first 100 pieces, the bubble was bigger than the blimp. The Purple Ninjas were cheering him on with evil enjoyment as the bubble slowly filled up the entire sky, hovering above the town. Ava and Jaden were hanging out in Biology Squad HQ when the sky suddenly darkened. Huh? They peeked their heads outside. What is that? Ava called out, staring up in the sky. Hovering above the entire town was what looked like a big pink cloud. Jaden was staring at it too. Maybe let's strap on our new jetpacks and investigate, he replied to Ava. The two strapped up and zoomed up to get a better look. It's not a cloud, Jaden. It's a bubble, and I think it's made of bubblegum. From up in the sky, they could see across town. What? This has got to be the work of Dr. Stinky Breath. Jaden scanned the length of the bubble. There, he shouted, pointing. It's coming from that rooftop over there. Ava pulled out her spy binoculars. Sure enough, she spotted Dr. Stinky Breath sitting on the roof of a building, chewing bubblegum and blowing this massive bubble. Jaden put his supersonic hearing aid to his ear. The Purple Ninja's voices came into range.
That bubble is gonna be sure super stinky once it pops.
Yeah, make sure your nose plugs are secure. This town is in for quite the stinky surprise.
Jaden gasped and turned to Ava. The bubble is full of Dr. Stinky Breath's stinky breath. He plans on popping it and making everything smell as bad as him. Ava shuddered. Ugh, it smells bad just being near him. I don't even want to know how bad a whole bubble of his breath will smell. You have to come up with something, and fast. Jaden wondered aloud, do we have enough nose plugs for the entire town? No, we won't have time to pass them out. Oh, wait. What if we spray a whole bunch of air freshener around? It still might even not be enough. Any thoughts, Ava? I've got it! Ava's pointer finger shot up into the air. How do you get rid of bad breath, Jaden? By brushing your teeth? Guessed Jaden. You want us to brush Dr. Stinky Breath's teeth? Ava laughed. No, I don't think that'll ever happen. We just need to clean the stinky breath in the bubble. What if we spray mouthwash into the bubble before it can pop? Jaden smiled at Ava's plan. Yes, let's get to work. They flew to the nearest store and bought every bottle of mouthwash they could find. Jaden headed to the fire station and asked to borrow a fire truck. It's for official spy business, he told the firefighters. When they learned of the stinky bubble growing above their heads, they were more than happy to help. Jaden and Ava set to work, filling the fire truck's tank with mouthwash. Glug, 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 glug. There, that's it. Every last bottle, said Ava. She grabbed a hose and handed the other to Jaden. Let's freshen this breath. The two powered their jetpacks back on and headed toward the blimp, hoses in hand. Meanwhile, across town, Dr. Stinky Breath was still chewing. I need more gum, Pebble Ninjas, more! The bubble must be bigger! He threw more pieces of bubblegum into his mouth, then froze mid-chew, squinting out at the two flying figures near the far end of his stinky breath bubble. Ninjas? What is that? Dr. Stinky Breath shouted. One of the purple ninjas pulled out his telescope.
It appears to be two people with jetpacks. Oh no, and they're headed straight for the bubble, Doctor.
Well then, no time to waste. We must pop the bubble now. Get me that giant poker. The purple ninjas scampered off to the blimp to grab it. Just as Ava and Jaden reached the bubble across town, they stuck their hoses through the bubble and began to spray the mouthwash inside. I hope this is enough, Jaden shouted to Ava. At the rooftop, the purple ninjas had just handed Dr. Stinky Breath the special giant poker. He lifted it up and punctured the bubble, laughing. Smells the wrath of Dr. Stinky Breath. He took a deep breath in and gagged. Minty freshness? What is the meaning of this? A minty rain was sprinkling all over the town. The people below commented on how refreshing it smelled. They never knew how close they came to being attacked by a stinky breath bubble. Purple Ninjas, how could you let this happen? Dr. Stinky Breath's evil plans were foiled yet again. All thanks to Spyology Squad. Hey friends, if this was a fun adventure for you, we actually have an entire podcast dedicated to Spyology Squad and our adventures of stopping Dr. Stinky Breath. So down in the show notes below, your parents can click on the link or you can search for Spyology Squad to listen to our awesome spy adventures. Great job, you listened all the way to the end and you know what time it is. Yep, it's time for kid shoutouts. I want to say hey to Nafisa from Durban, Louis from Taiwan, Harrison from Michigan, Fletcher and Cayman from British Columbia, Lillian from Holland, and April from California. I'm so glad that you're all on the Kid Short Stories family. We could not have this much fun with imagination without you, my friends. Well, why don't you have a super duper day or I'll see you on our next adventure. There's another story waiting for you. I'll see you there. Bye.